It's been a while since I did a recording. I know the last recording I did was how I'm gonna live in my van down by the river. And that still holds, but within that time, it's just crazy how the universe works out because, I felt like I couldn't understand what was stopping me, like what was closing down all these opportunities. Like, why is it so difficult for me to just be able to move out of state? I've been doing it my whole life. Like, what is it? Feels like something's unfinished. There's unfinished business, right? So it all comes out and unravels. And basically, I had separated from my family due to their abuse of themselves, myself, and my niece. As I'm getting ready to make the changes to leave in this down by the river pursuit, I'm hitting up my brother's baby's mom to say goodbye to my niece, who I have like a deep bond with, and I realize I'm kind of abandoning, but just this desire to do something for myself. So it unravels in great divine timing, all these moving parts, almost like the concept of like the Big Bang, which I totally don't believe in, but regardless of that, whether I do or don't, who knows? The point is, it aligned perfectly to where the stagnation was because I needed to be the one to go against my own family in court. I needed to basically protect my niece, and my brother is like a chronic violent alcoholic who has beat every girlfriend he's ever been with and probably any woman he's ever dated in general. He's abused all of us, for over a decade. This isn't like a surprise. And it unravels to where like I see now my sobriety, why my mom was so hateful to me, why my brother was so hateful to me. They were concealing things, and it makes me wonder how many people have actually been involved, how hurt have people actually gotten. And the thing with the safe, there's something in that safe that is incriminating, some kind of piece of evidence, some kind of something. There's something in there, because my mom trying to hide my brother's court documents when she said herself that she doesn't feel he's an unfit parent to multiple people she doesn't even know super well. So it's like, it must be something so brutal that it outweighs her fear of him being the parent. Maybe her involvement. Maybe her and my brother really did take my dad's life. Maybe that's why my dad's phone could never get broken into. Like, why doesn't my mom have my dad's phone code? She has every other code to everything. She has everything written down. So it just kind of shows me that I stayed here, Spirit kept me here, because I needed to protect my niece and make sure that she didn't become a victim. And then with time, it's unraveled that there's much more. There's much a darker element. I feel almost like a Netflix show. There's like a darker element to what's really going on. And I guess this is just a recording that if anything happens to me, even if you can't prove it's my brother, it is definitely either my mom or my brother, that potentially they killed my dad too. And they just gaslight and manipulate the environment like every other manipulator, killer, abuser does. It's just because we're in this generation that everyone's a narcissist and everyone's an abuser. So I think I just it almost fed into the illusion, because I'm so like, I'm not trying to be no bitch ass, I'm not about all these fads and these victimization statements. And I think I myself had Stockholm syndrome quite a bit. And also just, you only know what you know. Like, the whole world is a spectrum. There's kids who have never even, who are 20 years old, and the first time they ever go into a bar is when they turn 21. First time they drink or they never do drugs their whole life, but do anything actually wrong is of age and appropriate. And then there's kids that are selling their bodies and killing people at 12 years old. And it's like, it's all just a spectrum, and like, it's all relative to your experience. So even though I'm rambling and my words are all crazy, it's because deep down I'm also like, I have my head on a swivel at all times, which it does make sense. Like, intuitively, I just started accumulating weapons, and like, I kind of thought it was because I was paranoid too. Like, maybe I just am a little too hurt, traumatized, and this is like a sense of mental security I have, and that could be true too. Like, it's only the withholding that makes my mind wander. Like, if you've seen someone's pattern your whole life be consistent, and all of a sudden it's drastically different, and it's like revolving these certain key components, and I don't know, it's just like, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a fucking duck. I could be wrong, I could be right, but regardless, I see now why I'm still here, and I'm still going to go, but I am gonna make sure at least that he's not getting full custody before I do. I was initially gonna put him in some kind of rehabilitation facility, but after dealing with my mom and understanding that it's not just something someone can heal. There's something deeper there. There's something that's like, you can't take it back there. Like, I'm approaching it with the mindset of myself, where I'm just a person who hurt myself, and I said some mean things, but I didn't like touch anyone in a weird way or hurt anyone. And I think I'm coming at his resolution with that mindset of like, it's okay to have done some like self-harm in your life, and you can redeem yourself, and people can be forgiving. And now I understand why I was so heavily scapegoated, and why it seemed I was living in a false reality. Like, these things should just be common sense. And like, am I asking too much? Am I having illusions or delusions? And did I fuck my brain up? And it's almost like, now I see that I've been separated, that they coined on that's why it was a problem that I got sober, because they could continuously manipulate me into believing that it was my own mind making these things up, and I'm overly sensitive. And that's the problem, that I have too much idealism in life. And I think that families should cooperate in a way that they don't. Like, kind of, that was sort of what I felt I was being fed, that I have expectations that are not exceedable. And now I kind of realize these aren't expectations. Like, this is just common dignity. And I mean, I already realized that previous, but I realize now that that they're concealing something far deeper. So, I don't know. It's crazy, kind of, not even kind of, just crazy to over the course of like, I've only not been drinking for 9 months. So the day that I crashed my car on January 9th, and then I quit drinking, quit kratom, which I was all physically addicted to, it's like, until now, it's been constant friction, volatile friction, and me asking for things like a certain level of dignity and respect in order to just survive and not want to kill myself. I was never going to get that, because they needed to make me feel crazy in order to continue their lie. Because if I had sense, then I would be asking questions and they would be valid. I would be collecting data and it would be valid. Taking pictures. My sniffer fucking works. I can smell out bullshit. So I see now, like, it all makes sense. People don't do things for no reason. They always have an agenda, whether it be subconscious to fulfill their own ego, or it be to conceal something and protect. There's always an agenda. It's just crazy when it's like your mom, your brother, like, they killed my dad together. Like, I don't know, I wonder that, because the last words I said to my dad, I was fighting, defending him to my mom and my brother. And then he was gone. And my mom didn't speak at the funeral. She went to a football game that day. I don't know. And it just feels like when I got into a car accident, I was in his car, and I'm the only one who's touched his ashes. I'm the only one who's had anything, who's even taken them out of, they don't even know where they are. Because I took them out of a brown paper, it comes in a plastic bag in a brown box, like a fucking Amazon package. And I made some glass pieces with it for Christmas to give them. And like, after that, when I sobered up, I started looking at that box and feeling really guilty. And like, he died in the room that I slept in the whole time. Like, he died in my childhood bedroom. And I slept on that bed for the next 2 or 3 years. Not that bed, I guess. I did change the mattress, but like that frame, that everything, that exact placement, because the bed is so heavy you can't move it. So it's like, I think because I was so traumatized from it all, I couldn't make sense of it. But now it's like things don't make sense to such an extreme that I'm starting to unravel it through just believing, well, what are their patterns and where are they making a drastic change? And then there's a lie there. Like, just highlight that. You've always done this your whole life. You've always used this behavior, tone, reaction, everything my entire life. Now it changes. That's a check mark. That's a highlight point. Like, I'm not gonna let this shit go. If they kill my dad, I'm gonna fucking get my dad's redemption. And out of just pure respect for the fact that my dad probably knew that at some point this was all gonna come out, like all these lies and shit, all this concealment, all this fucked up stuff. But he knew I was too young and naive and too manipulated, too malleable. I don't know. That could be true. It could not. I don't know.